Hello, everyone. My name is Tia Osley, and I'm really excited to be a part of this professional learning series. So today we'll be talking about ways in which we can better support our English learners through culturally responsive teaching and by building strong connections between home and school. One important mindset shift we can make as educators is moving away from focusing on what EL students may lack and instead recognizing all of the strengths that they bring, like their cultural backgrounds and home languages. These are valuable assets and not barriers, and when we embrace them, we create a more inclusive and supportive learning environment for our students. Let's start with cultural responsive teaching. Culture has a big impact on how students learn, how they communicate, and how they interact in the classroom. It can shape everything from how they respond to group work and how they show respect or ask questions. If we don't take those cultural differences into account, we may miss a student's behavior or even make them feel like they don't belong. So being cultural competent means understanding and respecting our students' backgrounds and making sure we reflect those backgrounds in how we teach. For English learners, this isn't something we do only during a cultural celebration or a special event. It should be a part of our daily practice. We can do this in easy but meaningful ways, like using books and stories that reflect students' real life experiences, encouraging them to speak their home language, or give them space to share their traditions and perspectives. This helps students feel like who they are really matters to teachers. The classroom environment also plays a huge role in how students learn language. A space that feels welcoming, safe, and inclusive helps students take risks and practice language without fear. Things like labeling items in both English and students' home languages, using pictures and visuals, and encouraging group work all supports language development. To celebrate diversity in our lessons, we can try things like cultural projects, word walls with transitions, or having students read in pairs using both languages. Allowing students to plan or write ideas in their first language before switching to English can help them feel more confident. According to Garcia and Kalin of 2016, translanguaging spaces give students the freedom to use their full language abilities, which includes both English and their home language, to make sense of content, express ideas, and build confidence as learners. They emphasize that this approach helps students not only learn English but also stay connected to their cultural and linguistic identity, which is key part of learning term success. Now, every English learner is different. Each have their own strengths, challenges, and some may also have disabilities. That's why it's so important to be flexible and responsive in how we teach. One of the best ways to start is by building strong relationships. Take time to learn about your students, their language levels, where they're coming from, their education, and how they learn best. Some students may benefit from visuals or sentence starters, while others may need consistent routines or more support in small group settings. We also have to think about their social and emotional needs. A lot of EL students are adjusting to a new language, a new school, and sometimes even dealing with past trauma. Doing small things like saying hello in their home language, giving them a peer buddy, or using restorative practices can go a long way in making them feel safe and important. It's also key to understand that culture plays a role in how students behave in the classroom. What might look like misbehavior could actually be a cultural difference. For example, some students may avoid eye contact out of respect or may not feel comfortable speaking up in front of the class. When we're aware of these things, we're better able to support students instead of misjudge them. Now let's talk about building connections with families and the community. This is honestly where so much of the meaningful work happens. Families of EL students bring a lot to the table. They have real life skills, cultural traditions, and knowledge from their own lived experience that they can really support their child's learning. These are what researchers call funds of knowledge, and when we tap into that, we help students feel proud of who they are and stay motivated in school. So to build some strong relationships, it helps to start with a clear, accessible communication. This might mean using translation tools, sending home newsletters in multiple languages, or apps like Talking Points that allow for two-way messaging in the family's home language. But it's also about creating spaces for families to be involved, not just as a guest, but as a contributor. We invite them to share things like recipes, stories, or cultural traditions so that they feel valued and seen. Family engagements should go beyond just report card nights. It should be ongoing and meaningful. Things like family reading nights, potlucks, or cultural celebrations can help families feel like they're a part of the school community. Housing a cultural night where families can share food, music, or art from their backgrounds can build bridges and help create trust. We also need to be mindful that some families may feel uncomfortable navigating the school system, whether because of language barriers or past experiences. So, being intentional, offering translated materials, using interpreters, and meeting families where they are goes a long way. So Too Many and Shared Rule of 2021 reminds us that when families bring rich cultural and linguistic knowledge that when recognized and included can transform curriculum and relationships in meaningful ways. When we treat families as partners and knowledge holders, not only do we support student success, but we also build a stronger, more inclusive learning environment for everyone. So in short, when we view the EL students through an asset-based lens, we begin to close equity gaps and build a stronger, more inclusive school culture. By being culturally responsive, meeting students' diverse needs, and connecting deeply with families, we're not just teaching content, we're empowering students to thrive. Thank you so much for watching and for commitment to make our schools places where every student, including our English learners, can succeed.